Hey guys, Terry Shanahan from the SHANAHANPLAN.com and creator of the Paleo Transition. And today I want to address a very simple question, but something that gets a lot of people confused. And the question is, what is the paleo diet? And so a lot of people who are just walking into a CrossFit gym or who are just hearing about some of the benefits of a paleo diet, they don't quite understand what it is. And then there's also a lot of misconceptions that go along with the title or with the definition. And so today, we're going to talk about that, and hopefully we're going to set things straight. So first of all, we want to look at what is the paleo diet, and you can look at it as far as what it includes, the foods you can have, and then the foods you cannot have, or what it excludes. And so inclusive, meat, all types of meat, poultry, fish, okay, so wild game, any type of meat, animal protein, eggs, things like that, that is included. Vegetables, all different types of vegetables. Root and tuber vegetables are going to be where you're going to get your starches, but you can also eat fruit and then nuts and seeds. So anything that's sort of like a natural product from the earth that you could hunt or gather, those are considered paleo type foods. So what's excluded from a paleo diet? What's excluded is dairy, grains, and legumes. Okay, so those three foods are excluded. You may not eat them in a paleo diet. And so a lot of people get confused and they're wondering about like oatmeal or rice and corn. Oatmeal, rice, and corn are gluten-free grains, but they are grains and they're not included in a paleo diet. All right, so where does the word paleo come from? The word paleo comes from the Paleolithic era. And so the Paleolithic era is the era in time from when humans first walked the earth, roughly 2 million years ago, up until about 10,000 years ago. So this huge point of history and time is called the Paleolithic era. And this is when human beings, or Homo sapiens, people who were closely resembled human beings, so the same genetic structure that we did, they were hunters and gatherers. About 10,000 years ago, give or take, something started happening agricultural. People started farming. People started basically growing different crops and changing the way that they started to eat. That happened about 10,000 years ago, and so from 10,000 years ago up until today, that's called the Neolithic era, okay? So paleo comes from the word Paleolithic era, and it is basically 10,000 years ago back to the beginning of time when humans walked the earth, and it's an area or a period of time when hunting and gathering was the only way that people consumed food or gathered food or hunted food to eat and to consume. And so what happened is about 10,000 years ago, the agricultural revolution, people started to farm, and then as time went on, we started to highly process more and more types of foods and even package them, genetically modify them, add things to them. And so about 10,000 years ago when this started, we can literally see through evolutionary biology and through different types of sciences, we can look at the skeletal structure and the jawline and different things in humans, and it started to change as we brought these foods into our diet. Now, absolutely, we could potentially evolve and sort of adjust to eating these types of foods in our diet. However, a lot of the foods that we bring in the huge amounts, processed grains and the dairy that's highly processed as well, our body has not properly adapted to, and so that causes some issues. So these problems that started happening are considered the diseases of civilization. And so if you look, even in the last 50 to 100 years especially, we have astronomical increases in the rate of cancer, heart disease, neurological disease, and autoimmunity. So these diseases of civilization can be almost directly correlated to the food we're eating and the highly processed, high sugar foods that we're eating as well. And so if we stick to foods that are from the Paleolithic era, we often see reversal, or we see a proactive way to stop these diseases of civilization. So we're not saying that the paleo diet is a cure-all for everything, but what we do know is there is science to show that the paleo diet does a couple things that are very important. It is an anti-inflammatory type diet. Eliminating grains, legumes, and dairy actually has been shown to decrease gut irritation and gut inflammation. And our gut is very important for digestion, for hormones, and also for our neurotransmitter receptor sites. Additionally, paleo foods are extremely nutrient dense. okay? And so those are three types of things that are very important with a paleo diet. And so we're not just telling you to reenact what the caveman did or reenact what our ancestors did. There's actually science behind why we do these types of things. And inflammation, less gut irritation, and nutrient-dense foods are the three biggest reasons that we can bring into play why we should do the paleo diet scientifically. Now, we can also look at history, okay? So if we look at history, literally for 2 million years, up until 10,000 years ago, that's over 99% of the time that human beings walked the earth, human beings were eating a certain way. Of course, you could argue that there's been some adaptation, as I said, but we have not adapted properly, and there's a direct correlation between what we're eating now and the diseases we're having. And so if you want to look at the biggest observational study of all time, look at history. And evolutionary biologists know exactly what our ancestors were eating, and they can look at the health of these individuals as well. So that's another reason. And then the third reason is also anecdotal or observational. So if we take groups of people today and we go to a CrossFit gym or some sort of culture or a place where people are eating a paleo diet and they're strength training and they're moving and they're doing the types of things that people from the Paleolithic era did, we can look at their lab markers and we can look at their health. We can also look and see how they feel. We can look at their body composition and we can look at their performance. And so those are other observational type things and reasons why we can look at the paleo diet and understand how powerful it is. So I don't want people to think that this is just a diet that's reenacting history. There's a lot more to it. There's a lot of reasons why we should do the paleo type diet. So if you're looking to start a paleo diet or you're trying the paleo diet right now and you're struggling, make sure you get over to the SHANAHANPLAN.com and sign up for my free report that's going to help you. It offers you the 5 biggest paleo mistakes that most people are making. So I don't want you to make those mistakes. I want you to have success with paleo, and I want you to get the results you deserve. So go over to the SHANAHANPLAN.com, sign up for my report, and I will see you again really soon with another paleo tip.